Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Olushunwobi Daniel, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys how I achieved this soft foxy eye look on the Delectable Photographer reality wedding. So if you're interested in knowing how I achieved this look, please keep on watching. And welcome back to my channel. Welcome on board for those that are new here. So let's get right into it. So Ria walked in for her pre-birthday glam, so I decided to do her brows first because she has full brows, but they are so sparse. I really love her brows because it's the kind of brows when you know, outline and define it to appear very, very natural. I think we kind of have the same brow type. So it's very full. It's actually not scanty, but it's sparse. And I'm not going to be taking out all the hairs, but only the new grown hairs that are obstructing the lines. So I'm just going to take out the excesses and then I'll get right into it. So in today's video, we are all about foxies, and well, I think this foxy eye look actually originated from Egypt. I think so, because I remember then I used to read Bible stories, and when I see the wives of Pharaoh, and even in the movies we watched when we were little, I used to see that the kind of makeup the Pharaoh's wife wear are mostly foxy eye makeup. I don't know if I'm right, but this is what I feel. So I feel this look actually originated from, from Egypt, and it's really the in thing now. Everybody's doing foxy eye. But Ria actually has very natural eyes. Her eyes are not so big. It's actually very small though. Only that she has a lot of crease space, and that was why I decided to jump on this. So I'm not going to be making her own too dramatic like the Pharaoh's wives, because you know that sometimes, most of the time from the videos I watched while I was little, the eye makeup is usually too dramatic and like a villain. But no, I'm not going to make her look like one. I'm just going to make her look softer. So if you're interested in knowing how, please continue watching this video. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, like, comment, and please share to your friends. Okay, so first of all, I cleansed her face using the Garnier face cleanser. So poured it on my wipes and cleaned up her face. You need to clean out the hairs too from the brows, because if you don't, it's going to obstruct your foundation application. It's going to get into your foundation. So I really took my time to wipe her face very well, making sure that there are no oil on her face. So in my city, we have a lot of red sand, so skincare in the mud. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't do skincare. I still do my skincare routine, but the problem is when I go outside, my skin still attracts dust because of the red sand. So after that, I went ahead to moisturize her face using the CORX moisturizer. So I really love this moisturizer because it's so soft. It has it feels like, it's not like a gel, but it's the softest moisturizer I've used, and I love how it blends into the skin. So I tried as much as possible to blend that really under her eyes, because I really don't want any dryness underneath her eyes, knowing fully well that we're going to be using a lot of dry, or rather matte products, especially the setting powder and concealer. So I try to use my fingers because it does a better work than the brush. And make sure if you're doing this, your hands are clean. Clean your hands, wash your hands, and make sure you use hand sanitizers. Okay, so moving ahead, I used foundation from Hudabeauty. So I use Hudabeauty foundation in peanut butter. You guys already know I'm used to mixing, but this time around peanut butter was Ria's exact shade. I mean, we really enjoyed this session. I really enjoyed it because we gisted and gisted. I mean, this is the first time I'm having Ria in my seat. So I forgot to mention that I used primers on her T-zone area because I asked her where she gets oily. She said that her forehead, her nose, and her chin. So the moment she said forehead and nose, I knew it was her T-zone. So I made sure to distribute that Becca primer all over her T-zone area. You can see that it actually mattified those areas. And I really tried to put it on her brows because I don't know why brows tends to get oily with time. So I tried as much as possible to mattify that area, especially because she's going to be using this for an outdoor shoot. Guys, you know I'm not really a fan of primers. I don't really like using primers because I love that fresh, dewy look. I know that my makeup is actually matte, but I still get to have a dewy finish if I want to. So, but I use this primer because she's going to be shooting directly under the sun. I'll add some video clips to show you guys how our day went because I had to join them out for the shoot. Okie dokie. So after that, I went ahead with the foundation. I used Hudabeauty foundation. I applied with my beauty blender. I didn't use the brush this time. I just went in straight with my beauty blender from Gleam Cosmetics. So I also contoured her face using the foundation from Nuban Beauty in D16. I didn't want to go dark. I actually wanted to use my black opal stick foundation, but I decided to change. But I used a little bit of that foundation because I didn't want her contour to be so intense. You will notice that after I used it, it wasn't really obvious that I contoured her face, just trying to add shadows around those areas. Okay guys, I'm sure you guys have seen other videos where I do a full face look. I think I mostly do full face look for you guys. I don't cut the corners, so you should try and watch my other videos. Please, and remember to share to your friends because that is the only way I get to be seen. And I'm trying to grow my channel, and with the help of you guys have been doing amazingly well. So please share these videos to your friends and your loved ones. Okay, so I went ahead to add a little bit of cream blush. So what I did was I mixed two different lipstick. I took the iMagic palette. I took the red from the iMagic palette and mixed with the orange Hega and Esther lip stain in Lagos Party. So I'm sure you guys are wondering why I'm putting it by the corners of her head if I'm not on the center. Well, when it comes to makeup, I don't know how to explain it, but I always move with my spirit, or rather my instincts, because sometimes when you're doing makeup and you're being meticulous, I feel that is when ideas even flow in more. To be honest with you guys, I can't really say my reason for applying that blush on that part on her temples, but I think I'm loving the outcome. Okay, the next thing I did was to conceal under her eyes to brighten up her face. Well, first of all, I used the darker shade of the concealer before I went in with the lighter shade. So I use this just close to the blush because it's going to blend it a little bit down, and it's going to give her a more subtle appearance around that area. So that's why I added the darker one. And I also use the lighter concealers from aucoin. The first one I used was sorry, not Tax, was Too Faced concealer. So I can't remember the shade, but I'm going to leave it down in the description box. So after the Too Faced, I added aucoin in 11 and 12. So 11 is a bit lighter, so I had to put it closer to her tear duct, and then the other part of the under eye I used the shade in 12. So I tried as much as possible to blend that really in. Okay guys, you notice what I did in this concealer application. I tried to, give her that cat's eye effect because we're trying to do foxes and it's going to lift her eye. So this concealer helped to add lift to her eye. If you're not sure of what I did, you go back to when I just finished applying the foundation. There was really no lift, and I had to create one because everything we're doing about the eyes is going to add more lift to her eyes. So for setting powder, I used Merak Cosmetics in Curry and Cinnamon. I had to mix the two of them to get her actual highlight shade. And I really love this setting powder because it's actually a dupe for Laura Mercier. Okay, so for her powder, I mixed the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Sun Power and the Studio Fix in Nc50. So Rhea has a little bit of yellow undertone in her skin. She's a brown skin girl, but a little bit of yellow undertone. So that's why I chose to use this powder and this setting powder as well. Trust me, I love white setting powders, but I feel that for a brown skin girl, it's not the best shade to use when setting the face. Okay, so I use that powder all over, but I use more of the mineralized skin finish, which is the Sun Power, in the darkest part of her face. Okay, so for her brows, I gelled it down with this hair wax, guys. I feel that hair wax is actually the best gel to lay down brows because it's thick and the brows just slips down. I prefer it to using any brow tamer. Brow tamers are good too if you don't want to really lay the hairs down, but if you really want the brow hairs to be sleeping, guys, you need to use the hair wax. Okay, for her brows, I use Shop Belle's Beauty Brow Pencil. If you really want to achieve very subtle brows, natural brows, this pencil is the best option. If you want to go a little bit heavy and probably still soft, you can use Beauty Line by Didi. But for Rhea's brows, I chose Belle's Beauty because if you remember, I told you initially that Rhea's brows, she has sparse hairs, but they are still full. So I really want to maintain that sparseness, if I'm correct in this English, but I hope you understand though. Okay, so after that, I defined her brows using my Naked 5 angled brush. You guys, in all my videos, this is the only brush I use for brows. And I use the aucoin concealer in number 12. I even had to add a little bit of espresso from the LA Girl concealer just to darken it a little bit because I didn't want her brow bone to be too bright. I mean, we are gradually fading out from that time when we actually make the brow bone too bright. So recently, I'm even loving the no defined brows, but because of the eye look we're trying to create, we're trying to lift the face, so that's why I had to define the brows. So my first transition will be using my Morphe bronzing palette. This is a Morphe bronzer. I used it in my last video, so if you haven't watched my last video, please do click on it, watch it, and share to your friends. So I will start by creating that foxy effect with this Morphe bronzer in Phenom. So this is going to guide me on the smoky part, so I'm going to keep taking that upwards close to her brows, but not close to her brows. So make sure you don't get this into her brow bone, because we're trying to leave that place bare. So the next thing I'm going to do is to use a pencil brush to apply my Inglot gel liner as if I'm lining the eyes, but at the same time what I'm doing is smudging it out, still following the line I used in, smudging and blending out the Morphe bronzer. So this Morphe bronzer was more like a guide for this gel liner. Guys, a little bit of that gel liner, because if you blend, there's a way you put too much and it will go further than you ever imagined, and trust me, you are not going to like it, except you are trying to do an extreme smoky eyes, but we're trying to leave it soft. I'm still going to blend this down with eyeshadow and also blend it down with my Morphe bronzer, because I don't want it to be too dramatic. Okay, so I'm showing you guys how I achieve on the other side of the eyes. I'm not doing cut and join, so you guys can fully understand how I achieve this eye look. Initially, I didn't plan to do the skin work, because almost all my videos have full videos on skin work, but then again, it was an opportunity to just gist along with Ria and film the whole look. So after that, I went ahead to define under that foxy, because I really want it to be sharp. So I used the same setting powder from Merak Cosmetics to achieve that. So this helps to intensify the foxy to make it appear even more foxy. This wasn't the eye look I planned, but the hair actually gave me the vibes. So I went ahead to place the eyeshadow, this nude brown eyeshadow, on her eyelid. I don't know if I was able to film the part where I blended out the foxy with black eyeshadow and also with my Morphe bronzer, but I think I just have a clip that is not so long. But guys, after placing the eyeliner, I went ahead to blend it out with black eyeshadow. I still went back with my Morphe bronzer in Phenom and Leader was the first one I used before I used Phenom to blend out, because you guys already know that Phenom was the initial shade I used for the transition area. So after adding Leader is a bit darker than Phenom. After using Leader to blend out the black eyeshadow, I went in to soften it out with Phenom. Okay, so I went ahead to line her waterline, and then I smudged it out a little, blended out with black eyeshadow, and also blended out with Leader. So Leader is another shade from Morphe palette, in case you're confused. So whenever you're buying bronzers, there are 4 major ones. The ones I bought Leader, Phenom, Prodigy, and Trailblazer. So these are my 4 favorites from Morphe bronzers. So this is me blending out that smoky eyes, and you don't want to over blend. I don't want it to extend too much under her eyes, because she has tiny eyes, so I don't want her eyes to be closed. And if you notice, I'm smoking out on the outer part of her lash line. I'm not really bringing it down to the tear duct area, because when I do that, I feel the eyes are going to close up. So I'm going to blend out with black eyeshadow, just like I did for the top, and then I blended out with my Morphe bronzer in Leader. So that's Leader. It looks light, but trust me, it's not as light as it looks. I really love the fact that they all look the same, but when applied, it comes out different. Okay, love, so blending out under her eyes, I use this Sephora powder. I keep forgetting their shades, but trust me, it's going to be in my description box. So guys, make sure you ask questions after this look. In case you don't understand anything, I'll be in the comment section to explain everything. I mean, what am I here for if not to explain for you guys? Okay guys, you've seen how I blended that setting powder out. I even dragged the Foxey more while I was blending, because I really want her eyes to be up. So I placed my glitter primer. I use NYX, just a little bit of it, because trust me, Luster Pigments does not need a lot of primer. Like almost there's nothing on her eye, because those pigments are like foil pigments and they can actually be placed on the eyelid without using primers. Only thing is that they might fall out. So the best way to keep it on those eyelids are to use just little or no primer, little primer. So I use my NYX, and this is Luster Pigments in Satin. I think I have almost all their pigments, and I feel like I'm definitely going to buy more, because I just love how sparse it looks. Very, very beautiful. So I went ahead to line her eyes. So by lining her eyes, I still followed the Foxy line. No, this is me trying to really make that eye foxy. Okay. So I'm using an angle brush from Becca brush set. Guys, I love their brush set. So I achieved this whole eye look with the Becca eye set. You should copy yours, because I love the fact that it has different, so it comes in different styles, and it helps you to achieve the best eye look ever. So for spray, I use my Morphe spray on her face. I bathed her with this spray because I really need the whole powder effect to melt down. So for her lips, I mixed Nuban brown lip stain with my classic lippy in Thunder. I can't remember the Nuban lip stain shade, but I'm going to leave it down below. So I'm going to just line the borders of her lips just to carve it out. You see that when you line the borders, it kind of pops the lips, and I tried to overline because I really needed her lips to pop. So after that, I went in with my nude lippy and Camsey collection. I mixed it with there's a nude that looks orangey. I added a little bit of the orange shade too, and I also went in with the lighter shade of the lippy, of the lip color. It's nude. I'm going to leave the whole names down below in case you want to order from them. I'm also going to leave a link to their channel below. And for the gloss, I mixed 2 different Fenty glosses. From my last video, I used same Fenty glosses in Fenty Glow and one other shade. So I'm going to leave all down below. So for her highlight, I used Yangabeauty in Okish to highlight. And before then, you guys already know I love to use my mellanimills or my Anastasia Beverly Hills illuminator before I use my highlighters. So for mascara, this is Zaron 4-in-1 mascara, and it seems to be my favorite mascara of all time. Like, I really love it. So I had to pop up her lower lashes because I want the eyes to be popping. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. I helped her to fix up her hair, and you know, this look is actually bomb. I'm so sorry I had a bad lighting day today. This look is way better than it's looking on the camera. Like, bad lighting, you can see from the background there are lots of shadows. I kept trying my best to fix it, but I don't just know if it's from the weather outside, but I didn't get a good lighting for this video because this look, guys, this look was bomb. Okay, so for her body glow, I used Tmeseentials body glow. I mixed it with my Anastasia Beverly Hills illuminator in Penny. So I'm going to leave the name of the Tmeseentials body glow down below, or I will leave a link so that you can just go there and see. I'm sure from the bottle you will know the exact one I used. So after applying it, the little left on my brush, I just use it on the highest point of her face for the glow, because babe is going to take pictures under the sun. So guys, this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, share to your friends, and also communicate on the comment section. Bye.